Come on in here and give me just a second while I finish up with pouring me a drink. Just come on in. We gotta talk, and we got a good talk going on. I hate these kind of conversations, but they are so real and dear, and it has a lot to do with our government, local and federal. I'm just pouring me some V8 with Splash. Not trying to drink it out here, but I was thirsty and I had hit record before I knew it. Now I could have stopped it, but I was like, no, let's just go on, because this is Lovely J Podcast. Okay. So let me tell y'all what I'm making. I'm making turkey burgers today for dinner. It's going to be some turkey burgers. So if you hear me moving around, that's what I'm doing. Prepping for that. And if you hear them sizzling, then you know that is turkey burgers. Oh, it looks like I got to this meat just in time. We took out the wrong meat Saturday. We were doing a spaghetti and took out the wrong one. So I had to go ahead and cook these. Okay, so what I'm going to talk about is that it's what I've been always talking about the last 3 years since 2022 is the harassment and bullying that I am dealing with. Now, yesterday I talked about the church side of things. Now, let me tell you about the home side of things. What happened to me, give me a second, I need my onion pie. What happened to me last night sometime, or this morning sometime, it had to be sometime this morning that it happened. Anyway, I woke up yesterday, and I had, my hair length, it was down my neck, okay? I put a thumbnail in where y'all can see. It was down my neck. But then, when I got up today, and I really didn't, excuse me, that black pepper is strong. It's peppering today, okay? So when I got up, I really didn't comb my hair right then, but then I had some packages come in, and I said, oh man, I gotta get dressed up to do these videos. So I went to comb my hair, and that back part that I'm telling you that was hanging, it was gone. 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 My hair was gone. Am I mad about it? Yes, I'm mad about it, because that means somebody broke in here during the morning wee hours while I was asleep, or while they had me knocked out, and they touching all over my body. The other morning I woke up and my boob was hanging out of a sleeve. Okay? My breast. Nobody has no business touching my breast. My breast, I had on this shirt. No, it was a dress I had on. And I pulled the sleeves down on it off my shoulders so I could rest a little better. And so when I woke up, my boob was hanging out of the bra and hanging out of my shirt. Out of the arm of the shirt. I mean, hanging out the arm of the shirt now. That has never happened to me before. That was done intentionally and on purpose. That was. By the way it was done, because my bra was fully up on me. That should not have happened. I need something to put these in. That should not have happened. But when these people break in here and knock me out, and I'm tired of being knocked out. This is why I stay sick. Because I'm constantly being knocked out all the time with these drugs. I don't know what kind of drugs this is that these people are knocking me out with. I don't know what it is, but I just know that the last few days I've been sleeping late. Not only did they do that, let me tell you what else they did. Who are they? I don't know. I think it's government hiring people to run people off. I don't know. Maybe that's a conspiracy theory. Or is it the truth? I don't know. All I know is that my home has drones around it 24/7. I'm watched 24/7 no matter where I go. I can't even go to the house of worship without being watched, with all these social workers just, just watching everything I do. I don't even have friends anymore because they may think they my friends, but the moment I found out that they were watching me, I stopped being friends with them. They ain't have to worry about that. I put a stop to that, because if you can betray me like that, I don't want to be your friend. Family members, I had to stop dealing with family members. I knew who the family members were that were watching me. I was watching them too because they were watching me. When I first found out that this was going on with me, and I was like, dang, seems like everything I'm saying, people already know ahead of time before I can even let them know. They already know my defense, or they already know what I'm about to say. And that's when I was like, is family going back telling what I'm saying, or what is it? Because I could just feel it, and then I knew. But however, if I find out that this is family that is sexually assaulting me like this, I'm taking everybody out that has touched me. I'm saying that up front. I'm going to take them out. What I mean by that is, if I get an opportunity to prosecute and testify against the ones that harm me or touch me, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And may you rot in the hell that you plan for me. Because that's what's going to happen. There is no way around it for you to plan destruction or demise upon somebody and you think nothing's not going to happen to you. What happened to Hitler in the end? What happened to all these men who thought they were bad and tough? Look what happened to them. If I find out, if I get the opportunity to go against anybody that is part of this that's happening to me, I will be 100% willing to testify. I don't care who it is. I don't care how close of a relation. I will testify. I will see justice served. And I'm going to keep speaking it. I will see justice served, because you're not going to get away with this for long. Because somebody going to see my name somewhere and say, oh my God, she's one of the ones that were harassed and tortured during this era. This isn't mental health. This is complete criminal activity for the laws to allow somebody to come in somebody else's home. And like me, I stopped reporting. I had to stop reporting because they were victimizing me. They were belittling me. The more I was reporting, the more they would, I thought for once that there was good cops. And then I realized that they're not. Because even if they're a good cop, but they are forced to take part in this, then they're not a good cop. You can't be both. You can't take part in evil and call yourself a good officer or an attorney. I went to attorneys and I told them, I said, look, this is what's happening. And they belittled me. What happened? What happened next with them was, I ended up, I was at Walmart one day, and here comes the attorney walking by. But I always want to post on Facebook about how he cared and so compassionate about others. Nah, stop lying. Stop lying. That's a front to pull you black people in. Or us black people. That's a front. Once they get you reeled in, they gonna turn on you. They gonna turn on you. When have you ever known anything really to be for the black people? We always been turned on. And that's what they're gonna do now. They're gonna turn on you. They don't have no choice, because see, they fixing to go broke too. Trump did turned on them, so now they gotta turn on their informants and their snitches and the ones that they hired to do this type of harassment and work too. Yeah. They're gonna turn on you. Oh, that is nasty. They're gonna turn on you. But like I said, I woke up, my hair was gone. Somebody knows something. somebody knows what's going on in this area. And I know the somebodies that know. Because I can look at them and see it. You can't hide evil. When it's on your face, it's on your face. Some people I hate to even look. I hate to even look sometimes because I see so much on them. I be like, dang. That used to be a good person. I used to care a lot about them. I'm going to tell you something. What is true is every man is for himself. The only ones you better be looking after are widows and babies and poor people that don't know no better or can't help themselves. And they're even using the poor now to do their dirty work. Be looking at these poor people coming up around me acting stupid at stores and things. And don't even realize they testing them too. They part of the lab work to see how dumb they can be. That's why I hate to see family members like that. I be like, do they not realize that they doing them the same way too? If you just take time and look, you'll see what they doing to your body. Ain't too many people in my family that ain't disfigured in some type of way. I mean disfigured. Because that's what they do. It's psyops. Took my hair. Took my hair. How else am I supposed to feel about that? Am I supposed to be happy about that? I don't think so. But I do believe that justice will be served, because I tell you, I serve a good God now. Of course this is happening. But he holding me up. He really is. He's looking out for me. This is going to be allowed to work for my good, if anything. Y'all, I am standing up cooking today, these burgers. I'm trying to practice getting back used to standing up cooking. Okay, so the president, Trump, you know why I can't be mad at him? I can't be mad at the man because he's exposing so many of you phonies out there. From the church to the farmhouse, to the clubhouse, to the social media networks. He's exposing who y'all really are. So it's kind of hard to be mad when the truth is coming out. Now, if I ain't see no truth coming out, then yeah, pretty much I'd be mad. But there's some truth coming out of this poverty that many are fitting to embark on. The journey of poverty that they're going to embark on because they're going to have to file bankruptcy. Many going to lose what they got. And that's what happens when you lay your riches up on earth, in earthly things. Earthly things will break your heart. I'm not going to cry about my hair. I am upset. Very upset at my local government and the federal government. I haven't really ever reached out to the FBI on it. And I'm going to tell you why. Because from what I studied, they already know about it. We are human experiments being dehumanized. I'm not the only one. It's several. I wish I could name them for you. But I can't do that. I wish I could tell you everyone that I know is going through this because I know them. But I can't do that because, that'll be something that they would have to come to terms with, because a lot of them don't even realize that it's happening to them. So they think they part of the in crowd when really they're not. They really aren't. If I'm an experiment, then don't you think they need somebody to be part of the experiment with them? So they get the ones who are hard up for money, and they go tell them what to do. And they go do it. I didn't feel nothing. I never feel nothing until the next day when the drugs or whatever it is they give me wears off. That's when I feel what has happened. That's when I feel the soreness in my back, the soreness in my legs, the soreness like this week. And attacks ain't only hit me, because I've heard other people in my family say the same thing. Like last week, it was in my neck. I kept getting hit with the lasers in my neck last week. And it kept making me feel like I had a pinched nerve. I was sitting here watching people play the game this weekend. And I watched them. They was like, let me tell you something. Let me tell you a real honest truth for you. Now, this is how bad it is in my area. And it wasn't just me. Let me tell you how bad it is. I said my mama, my biological mama, could come stay here with me. She could come here and live with me. But you know how bad it was? When she came here, they were hitting her so bad with those lasers. She said, I can't stay here. She tried to stay with me. But they beat her up with the lasers. And she said, somebody don't want me here. I can't stay here like that. She said, I can't take that. I got to leave from here. That's why even if I offered her to stay here right now, she wouldn't come do it, because she know what she experienced here in my house. She knows what she experienced. I got a sibling who experienced the same thing. They come here, they got done the same way. Anybody who comes here, my home is souped up for whatever it is that they do. But the most thing that I'm hating right now, and I know it's going to come to a point where I have to leave, is some of the things that I have seen that they have done to the outside of my home that's affecting the inside of my home. And this is hard for me to see my home going down like this because of them. Very hard. The FBI, I don't know who they really want, who they watching for, or what. Is it just a money scheme or what? I want to know, how did I get into this? If you going to sexually assault me, touch my body without my permission, cut my hair without my permission, at least tell me why. Tell me why. I think that's the big question, is why. I don't know these people. I have done nothing to nobody for this retaliation to hit back on me like this. I haven't had money for years. I've been broke since 2015. So I ain't got nothing, I haven't been around here flashing or going against people or anything like that. It's just, why allow these people to come in here and do this to me? I knew when I took my hair down at the back, when I went to go brush it out, I said, oh my God, my plait feels short. And sure enough, when I took it loose, it was short. These people are scapping me. My hair, my body. Playing with my medical records, putting lies in my medical records. If they tell the truth about my medical records, there's things they don't tell me, they withholding from me, not telling me the truth about my health, not telling me things I have or don't have. It's so many people involved, and y'all know I'm telling the truth. You know I'm telling the truth. But the reason why I'm saying this is so that you know what you're taking part in and what people like me go through. And then when I start talking about it, I got certain family members that are like, oh, be quiet. Don't say nothing about that. Don't say nothing about it. You touching my body. If I don't say something, I'm going to hold so much in until it does affect me mentally. But to God be the glory. Right now, I'm pretty good. But really, breaking in my house. I have suffered with this. I'm beginning to think that this thing started happening around 2018. That's what I'm beginning to think. A lot of things started happening. 2017, I was sexually assaulted in Sanford, North Carolina at the hotel. I didn't think nothing about it. But then after that, more and more stuff started happening. Seemed like after 2015, more things started happening. And I know there's a dude who knows exactly what's going on. But he won't tell the truth because he don't care nothing about his family no way. If he did, he wouldn't have done the things he done. What he signed us up for. Because like I said, I'm not the only one going through this. There are others going through this. And that's why I don't want to be selfish with it. That's why I try to be kind of careful at the things I say. And at the same time, it's some of them that's involved in it and they're going to get what they get because they shouldn't have never took sides with the devil. They knew better than that to go against somebody who ain't never done nothing to them. They know better. They know better than to go into somebody's house and touch on their bodies and stuff. Move that stuff around in their house. They know that's evil. They wouldn't want nobody to do it to them, but yet they doing it. So that's what the thumbnail picture was about. Was about these people coming in last night and chopped my doggone hair off. But it's alright though. Because for this story, God will get the glory. And I don't care how much they mimic and belittle me for how I praise God, how I thank God, how I talk about God. It does not matter anymore. Because when I look around, this is a nation that is already plagued with darkness. It's already plagued. The wars you don't see is the wars you ought to be worried about. The ones you do not see. See, you see all this stuff Trump doing, but what's behind the doors that you don't see? And this is where it comes in. People like me come in it. They use everyday citizens to go against American citizens. To go against each other. Turn them against each other. Smile in each other's face just so they can stab each other in the back. Yeah, that's how it works. That's how it works. But I pray the hands who did this to me and who keeps coming in my house, that God deal with you. Because see, I don't want to say nothing bad about you, because if you family, I don't want to see family hurt. That's why I say I let God handle you. I tell my family members all the time, be careful how you ask God to seek his revenge on people, because even though they have hurt you, some of the same ones you asking God to protect you from may be your family. Now, I don't believe my family, it's certain things I know, I can't discuss that here because it's more spiritual enlightenment than it, and that's why I find it amazing the things that are going on with me. It's just that God always sends warning before destruction. He does. He sends it. He's true to his word. He keeps his promises. And I didn't seen it. I told y'all yesterday when I was on this podcast that there were 6 people I was supposed to pray for who have the big C word. Y'all remember that? Well, I found that yesterday there was, a few people that I found out that there was a few people that I didn't know about. But I know God has showed me what he showed me. And can I just say 2 of those people are, no, 3 of those people are already confirmed. 3. Keep playing with God. You can do what you got to do to me because this temple is his. It's his. It's his. Keep playing with God. 3 of those have already been confirmed. So what does this mean? That means that when God sends a word out, he's not lying. Everybody ain't a false prophet. And everybody not a prophet. But I can only say what God has given me. And in that time that I was speaking yesterday, I said what I had to say. I told my family a couple of months ago, don't be surprised at what's coming next. So when they come and tell me that somebody's sick or something that's really serious, I'm not surprised because God already had warned beforehand. That's why I'm not running around with my head cut off. Because see, back in the days when God would send me warnings like this and have me, I don't know why, but always he had me to prepare people for the worst. I don't know if it was just because of how I talk to people sometimes or what, but in my earlier years, I was called the bearer of bad news. And they knew if they saw me, then that meant I was coming to bring bad news. That's the only time I would show up. But I would say things in a way that wouldn't destroy a person. Okay? And God always gave me these dreams and things. And I was like, oh, I don't want to go tell this because I already know how people going to look at me. But I said it yesterday on that podcast, what I had to say. And I'm sticking by that, what God told me. And whether I'm a bearer of bad news or however you want to say it, there's already been 2 confirmations. And why do this feel so natural? Now this feels so natural for me to be standing up here cooking. To God be the glory. Oops. Yeah, so... And I'm just putting it out there. I mean, I don't care how people look at me. That's why I can stand and truly say what I have to say, because I went through so much of not knowing who I truly was in Christ when I was younger. I was using my gift out here in the world. Just, I don't know. I didn't really know how to use it. What God gave me. But there's been confirmations to some of the things, well, to about all the things I've been saying. I won't need to hear but 3 more. That's it. 3 more. In just less than 24 hours, God has already shown himself in what I said yesterday. And just in case if you don't know, I do fear God. And it's best you fear God too. Then you won't want to do things that's going to hurt people. That's why I got off that prayer line that I used to be on. And they'll probably hear me on this podcast. But that's why I got off of there. Because it was time to go. The season was up. I learned a lot from those ladies. I learned some ways to be. And believe it or not, I learned a big way how not to be toward other members of the house of God. But it got to where I was on the prayer line And I would see that, I'd be like, dang, their house fixed up like mine. Or they have certain things hanging on the wall that was like mine. And I started taking note of those things. And at first I was like, no, let that go. And then there would be certain conversations I would have, or certain topics I would study. And then next thing you know, I would hear them saying, what was my final straw on the prayer line? It wasn't even the one that was always nitpicking at me. My final straw was when the girl came on and said she was what you call a prayer warrior. She came on and she said, well, I had a grandma who really believed in Jesus, just always praying to God and stuff, but she was bat crazy. That was my cue. You need to get up out of this, because now this is turned into a cult. It was already a cult anyway. That's the way I see it. Because anytime you got to do what somebody says instead of what God has told you to do, no. That's influence of man. That is not the power of God working through them. If God told you to pray for somebody and you don't do it because your leader told you don't do it, no. See, I don't do stuff like that. I'm not here for fame, popularity, none of that stuff. But I do know that was the best decision I made for me. Now, I did really learn some things in there, and I learned a lot about God in there. Because at the time when I started that prayer line, I really didn't know much about the Bible. Didn't know the different ways to study the Bible. Didn't know the different types of prayers. Didn't know the different types of spirits and things like that. But while I was taking part in that prayer line, it was just certain ones were doing things that were sneaky. And then they'd be like, no, it's not what you think. It's not even like that. That's not what she meant, or that's not what she intended to be. And I mean, the eyes, how I was getting looked at was like with cold eyes. I would see people look at me with cold eyes. And they really belittled how broke I was. At the time, 2015, I had just went into like a bankruptcy of my own because I was having programs and I shouldn't have dealt with the devil's hand. I put somebody in there working with me, and I knew they were crooked, but still, I went on and was like, well, they said everything is paid for on their end, so we good, but come to find out, everything wasn't paid for on their end, and the people came, and they was getting ready to fight and stuff over their money, so I had to draw out all the money I had to cover this program, which was a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot of money just for the 3 artists that I know of that I did not. Those were not my artists, but I had to pay and cover for them, room, board, and all that stuff. And it was a mess, but it was a lesson. To this day, am I financially recovered? I don't have the finances like I had back then, but I have recovered my common sense now and my spiritual sense. I've recovered that. But what if that was done intentionally to set me back? Because see, I didn't know there was a program like this where people come together to bring somebody down in their own private home, where Christians are like, yeah, that person deserves to be raped, or yeah, that person deserves their hair to be cut off funding to that person so that they can't even survive. They're going to die of hunger. They're going to die of sickness. We cut off, they're going to get that money, that Medicaid and that Medicare, but we're not going to treat them. We're not going to tell them what's really wrong with them until they hit stages, late in their stages. That's what Trump is really uncovering, is these sheep in wolves' clothing. Do I like how he doing it? No. But is there purpose there? Yes. There is purpose there. Those who are righteous will not be begging for nothing. But those who don't know God, who don't know Christ, who have not repented, you're going to suffer. That's why I say the people that cut my hair, they're going to suffer. See, to know Christ is to already suffer. So I've been suffering the whole time. I've been suffering for years. As far back as 7 years old. But I've always climbed out of the pit every time somebody put me in it. I'm not a pit stayer. Every time, and I didn't even know that till like right now I'm thinking about it. Every time I was pushed in the pit through rape, molestations, through, these hair rituals where these demonic people are cutting my hair off, for their ritual purposes. God has always pulled me out of the pit every time. And I can tell when he want me to go on a certain thing, like a fast or something, because he'll have me where I can't do nothing else but what he has told me to do. What he has put in my spirit to do. Y'all, let's go over here and check this meat. Because I don't want to overcook this. Oh, that's going to be good right there. Yes. But my life has been full of pits. I've been through in the pit more than one time by family. So what they're doing now is not, it doesn't surprise me at all. I had nerve to see some of them trying to mark my hairstyles, trying to mark how I wear my makeup, things I have in my home. They bad about putting that doggone vacuum cleaner out. Or like if I buy something, they'll go buy the same thing and make sure that we do family time so that I can see it. But I don't worry about it. Because I'm more concerned about the soul that is lost. And there's so many souls out here that are lost. So many. And that's what it's really coming from. When you lost like that, that's all you want to do is hurt others because you hurt. Whether I get justice on earth or not, I know it's already done with God. It's already done. Oh, let me make me some tea. I got a pack of hibiscus. I like that. It's already done. I'm not going to let this hair thing stress me out so I can stay sick. I don't like it. But right now, it's out of my hands, but it's in God's control. It's in God's hands. God knows what he's doing, what he wants to come out of the situation. And I'm trusting him with it because I know I can't do nothing with it. I tried to handle it in 2022. I was running around to everybody telling them the things that were going on with me. And, I didn't know what was going on with me. The one thing that I did know is the thoughts I was having. I said, those can't be mine. That can't be my thought because God been too good to me. And that's how I fought the thoughts and those negative thoughts, intrusive thoughts and things that were coming at me. And I didn't realize that the reason why that stuff was coming at me like that was because people had these transmitters that were aimed at my house that were sending in signals to my fans, my ceiling fan, my bedroom fans, all that. If you really listen sometimes when I'm talking on this podcast, you'll probably hear these little sounds in the background that are like this. Well, in those sounds are chanting. Okay? Anything that is repetitive is a chant, right? And the same goes for like any appliance that I have that you hear that sounds really loud. It's repetitive, and it's called harassment and torture. Sound harassment and torture. Sound. When I say chanting, what I'm meaning is that sound is just repetitive. One, 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 one on the fan. Before, I never could hear the fan. Before, I never could hear anything in here. You could hear a pin drop. Now, to go to sleep, they'll turn them on. They turns them on and off, by the way. They don't stay on 24/7 that I know of. Because most of the time when they turn them wide open, well, maybe they are on 24/7, but they don't turn them wide open until it's time to go to sleep. And that's why I have a lot of trouble with going to sleep, because of those sounds. And they are real sounds. I've had people ask me about those sounds too, and I tell them, I say, look, the best thing you can do is you have power over your mind. Ignore the sounds as much as you can. Use the power within you that God has given you. Start humming. Humming releases nitric oxide, which is kind of like a nitroglycerin that will help lower, your heart rate and things, to bring it back into normal rhythms. Because these sounds and things that you hear, this is what is keeping America's blood pressure up. It's keeping the blood pressure up and making you sick, because even though you don't feel it physically, but a sonic sound is enough to destroy your health. You have to study it for yourself. Let me see. I thought I heard somebody outside. Give me a sec, y'all. Let me check my Palm Palette. Let me make sure. But yeah, they got me. Got me good. Oh, there is somebody outside. Just a slamming the doors loud. One day, when I move far away from here, I'm going to tell you the honest truth about what happened to me when I'm in safety. When I know I'm in a safe place, and I know I'm not coming back here probably for nobody. Might speak to my granddaughters on the telephone, but I won't be back for nothing, because I surrender all. It was just too many people that had turned against me. There's no need for me. When I get my chance to get up out of here, you hear how loud that slamming is? For what? I know y'all hear it. When I get my chance to leave from here, and hopefully, if the Lord will, I'm going to tell y'all what happened. I'm going to tell you exactly what happened to me. And I'm going to tell who did it too. And I'm going to tell how they did it. Right now, for my safety, I can't say it right now. I have to be mindful what I say. Because again, they do hear everything I say 24/7. So I have to be mindful what I say. Concerning that part. And I don't think it should be surprising to anybody. It's just a sign of the times. And there was somebody that knew something that I didn't know, that I wished I would have listened to. Even though I still don't like her because she lied to me. But she did mix that lie with part truth that I really wish that I had paid attention to a few years ago. But yeah, that's the reason why I be posting what I be posting. Y'all go check me out. Lovely J Podcast on Facebook and Jamie the Advocate on TikTok. Got some new items going to be coming up soon. Just go check me out on those pages. And again, nothing against the prayer warriors. I just knew it was my season and my time was up. My time was up with them. It was just time for me to go do something different. Be done with them. Not in a bad way. But for me, it's in a good way because it allowed me to grow. And no point intended to family members. You know who you are. You know what part you do in all this. Don't, you know, you play dumb all day long, but even Ray Charles can see through a lot of it. What else? That's pretty much it. All I can say is learn not to take things personal. So that if you are a targeted individual and I may do us a class. If you are a targeted individual and you are going through this type of harassment and abuse and nobody believes you and everybody says, oh, you're just schizophrenic, oh, you're just crazy. But you start noticing things going on in your home, outside of your home. You start noticing color-coded cars everywhere you go. People just really looking at you funny or belittling you, laughing out loud, having conversations right in your ear. You know, they'll come up right beside you and start talking. Some of them don't even really talk to each other like that. But for the sake of being your enemy, they join together for that. If you happen to find yourself going through that, going home, things moved around, things missing, probably won't come back for a month or two, or sometimes a whole year they'll keep your stuff. I know it was about a year before they put my siding back up. But the chances are you are a targeted individual. If you are hearing voices in your head telling you to do things or calling your name, and you know that you're not schizophrenic, then chances are you may be a victim of MK Ultra. You may be a human experiment like I am. That's what it is. We are experiments. What they want to do in the militaries and things, they try on us first. They're testing us to see how much we can take, because it goes in stages and it goes in different, you go through different tortures and they see how you tolerate that. They even wipe your memory out. Do y'all remember, guys, when I had amnesia? I had amnesia came 2019 and 2020. I did not gain memory back until 2023, and I didn't get it all back. Even then, I only got some parts of it back. See, we are human experiments. The whole time, you know, and there probably is PTSD there now. By now, all the trauma and torture I've been through, you know, but I just say again, God is my all in all. And I leave it all to Him. But when I think about it, the torture is stages that you go through. They start off with, you won't even know that you're going through this stuff when they first start off. But each phase, they turn it up, they turn it up, they turn it up, then they scale it back, then they turn it back up. I mean, they really manipulate the body and the mind. Like I said, you won't even know you're going through it until they show themselves. They're going to show themselves to you. Y'all, hold up a minute. I was testing this meat out to make sure it was right. Okay. The biggest way, if you have an enemy, that they can take you down is through your reaction. They can do a couple things with your reaction. They can make you hurt yourself. They can make you hurt others. Hold up. I'm turning this and I don't want to get burned. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm about done. Y'all hold up. I had to hold my breath. I'm getting back used to standing up. Just like I said, it feels normal. That's what I'm doing. I'm standing over the stove. And I got to send a text out to let them know that this food is ready. Or they might text me first. Who knows? They get the information faster than me. Okay, let me see. Give me just a second. Okay. So I'm going to give you the short version of this. And if I decide to do a long version of this, I probably have to write it out so that I don't forget certain things. So when you first start out being a targeted individual, it's because somebody has signed you up for this program. It is a program. It is a government program. And it's also with what retaliation looks like. This is what a lot of government offices, Board of Education, police departments, they sign people up for this stuff to be watched. Community, they look at you as if you're a community vigilante. Well, at first you don't even realize people are watching you. By the time you realize that people have been watching you in your home, in your car, tracking you everywhere you go. By the time you realize this, you're in shock that people could do such a mean thing. I was in shock. I was like, oh my God. Somebody keeps following me. And I would call my daughter and I'd be like, every time I go to the park, such and such a person comes to the park. That's how I would be. And then it started turning out, like sometimes I'd be on the phone or in the chat with my sisters and stuff, and it would seem like everybody that they talked about, or we were talking about, or we were discussing things about, not in a bad way or anything like that. Next thing we know, here we go, we're seeing them. Say, like, for instance, if I talked about Jamie Boughton, which is me. If I talked about Jamie Boughton, if I go to the store, I'm going to see Jamie Boughton. That's how it works. Well, by then, you're in the program and you have been brainwashed and you didn't even know it. So what is the brainwashing? The brainwashing is to give you fear. They call it hypnosis. Hypnosis is what they use on people. At least the framework of hypnosis, I believe, is what they use when you are sleeping. Do not leave. Okay. When you are sleeping, they are talking to you. That's the best way I can say it. They are programming your subconscious mind when you are sleeping. So if somebody's in your ear all night long telling you that, let me see. You're going to see a lot of white cars tomorrow. You're going to see a lot of white cars tomorrow. And it's like a recorder that they play, and it constantly plays. You hear it. You go in and out of conscious. You hear what they saying, but you can't wake up for what they saying. But then when you finally do wake up, it's because you are seeing a bunch of white cars. And you're like, where's all these white cars coming from? And it makes you seem like something like a Matrix. like you see in the movies. You remember the movie? What's that movie where all those white cars, all those Teslas piled up, and people saw all those cars, they were driving themselves? Well, that's what it's like. Next thing you know, you start seeing all these white cars, or you might start seeing all red cars, all blue cars, or you might start seeing all Hispanics, all black people, all white people. You may start seeing what we call rednecks, or you might start seeing what we call gang members. It just depends on how they have programmed you to see these people, and they program you the times that they know the times. They program it in you while you are sleeping. And to make sure that you are getting this program, they zap you. Yes. They zap. Now, I used to think I was like, ain't nobody zapping nobody out here like that. But then I learned it was a real thing of zapping. Go back and check out the McCarthy era. Zapping was a real thing back in the days to get people to mentally comply with the government. Well, the zaps hurt. I'm going to tell you that right now. I got zapped so hard one time, I thought my brain was going to come out my head. They hurt. But they do this to get you to comply with whatever it is that they're telling you in your ear while you're sleeping. Now, it was one time I was sleeping. I messed around and left my YouTube playing. And I heard them on there. They were telling me, so you a prophet, right? You a prophet. Well, you see how the prophets died. And then they put John the Baptist on. And how John the Baptist's head was cut off. So, I'm hearing this in my sleep and I can't wake up. You can't wake up until it's something that they do. I don't know how they do it, but when they do it, you will wake up. You'll wake up and you're like, what? What? Because they have programmed you. You have been, I don't believe it's hypnotized. I believe it's a trance. I believe they have given you medication to sedate you some kind of way. They sedate you. And once you are out. Okay, I'm going to give you a good example of what it's like. Surgery. When people go into surgery, you've heard people say that right before they fully woke up, that they could hear people talking and they know exactly what the people were saying, but they just couldn't wake up. Well, that's what it's been like for me. It's like I know they're there and I can feel them at some point. I can feel some things, but I can't wake up. So when I first started getting the torture, I started feeling things. It started in my hands and it went from there. My hands would be so sore and my eyes would be so sore. One time a guy was holding my head down and he was just zapping me. Boom, boom, boom. Just zapping me in my eyes. And I woke up, my eyes were bloody. It's stages. And it like I said, it would take me writing this stuff out to really give it to you how it is. But I do know the main theme is to drive you crazy and to get that reaction out of you. And that reaction is either going to lead to you. Well, there's several different things that it can lead to. But what they want it to lead to is you unaliving yourself, or you unaliving somebody else, or you getting in some type of trouble because of your reaction. They want to control your mind. MK Ultra was all about controlling the mind. And there's still people out here who want to do that. And the world is going to get a big taste of that. Now, before, it's always been private what was happening. But now with Elon Musk up at the top, it's going to go global. It's going to be more people coming forward. I'm speaking this out. It's going to be more people coming forth now because it's going to get out there what's going on. And the ones that were labeled crazy are now going to look not so crazy. Y'all remember when they said the conspiracy theories that was out here? Everybody thought the people who were giving conspiracy theories were crazy. But then now they're saying, oh, they were right. They were right. They were right. Well, I'm not trying to be right or wrong. I just want them to leave me alone. I want them to leave me alone so I can do the work God has put me out here to do. That's what I want. So as I said, though, it's stages. We are human experiments. It goes in stages. The same way they do caged monkeys and rats and things. They check them out. They watch how they behave in their habitat, in their environment. That's the same way it is here. Right here, it's souped up for the environment. This is not the same environment I had almost probably 10 years ago. The environment I had 10 years ago, I could walk through here butt naked and never would have to worry about seeing somebody else walk through butt naked on social media. It was things I could say in my home and didn't have to worry about it being replayed 10 years ago. But now, whatever I say is broadcasted. It's out there. People see me. They see my underwear. They see my whatever I do. They see it. And they do make light of, they make light of it. And at first it used to bother me real bad. And it still does bother me. But my reaction is different. I want to be able to help people. I don't want people to hurt like they have hurt me. Because they've hurt me. For some reason, they think us black women don't feel it. I've heard white men standing over me. I've heard them standing over me, talking about me. My body. I've seen a picture of them. Well, actually, it was a video. It was a video that I saw of them. And what happened, so even though these are my cameras, they have hackers that come in, and those hackers delete them. If they see that their pictures are up there, they'll come in and put in a psyop picture, which means like they might put in something that looks like the Joker or skulls, things like that, scary stuff. They'll replace what's really there with scary pictures. And after knowing what I know about a lot of things, I just, like I said, leave it all to God. Now I'm fixing me a bite to eat. I'm getting off of here. And if I do decide to do that and talk about that side of life, because it'll take a lot to talk about it. And yeah, it would take a lot to really talk about it. And I would have to have this stuff written out. And maybe that's just what I could do for Kiva, is just do like them episodes of it. Because eventually it's going to happen to more people than me. Because remember, I'm part of the experiment. So it hasn't really hit the generic public yet. It hasn't hit everybody yet. But I'm part of those millions that are part of the experiment. Which means whenever it does hit the public, the general public, you're going to see a lot of mental health cases. Some of these mental health cases are going to be so fake. They're not going to be real. They're only real because of MK Ultra. And as long as they keep applying that, the mental illness will be real. But when they stop the application, the people go back to their normal selves. Just like now, I talk with a glitch, but it's a lot. It's a lot. Anyway, y'all, thanks for listening. I gotta go. I gotta eat something. I'm calm now. I'm good now. I just want y'all to know, hey, they chopped my hair off. They got me. They got me. They got me, and I'm gonna leave it to God. I know I sound like, well, why don't you do something about it? No, because it's too many. It's too many people. I can't handle everybody. And I'm not going to try to handle everybody when I got a God that sees all and he can do all. So, no, That's not my battle. That's a battle between them and the Lord. Now it's happening to me, but it's a battle between them. Because if they knew the Lord, they wouldn't be doing it. So that lets me know they are lost souls. And these are the ones that people like me that know better. See, I'm held responsible for my teachings because I know better. If I didn't know better, then it would be a different story. Peace, love, and happiness.